Modified sedan racing is one of Speedway's best-kept secrets. With healthy car counts, no holds-barred competition, and fiercely proud competitors and support teams, the category has always been popular amongst Aussie Speedway communities and circuits. Today, you'll see why. With almost 100 teams converging on the beautiful Queensland city of Toowoomba, a region known for its steadfast speedway diet, as well as its rich farming history, the battle is well and truly on. Located 2 hours drive west of Brisbane, Charlton Raceway has featured some of Australia's biggest speedway series and one-off events. And this time, it plays host to a battle royale for modified sedan supremacy as Queenslanders, New South Welshmen, Victorians and West Aussies, comprising 89 guys and 2 gas-it-up girls, decide who will be the 2013 Australian champion.
Welcome, folks, to the 2013 GW Racing Products Lucas Oil Products Australian Modified Sedan Championship. And just look at this racing talent. There's over 90 cars here this weekend from all over Australia. Defending champ is Mildura's Dave Smith, and as you can see, he has got plenty of competition to deal with. So a unique way to welcome the defending champion Dave Smith to Toowoomba. He gets a ride in this awesome Summernats burnout contesting Holden Ute. And Dave's normally a Ford man, but even he's impressed with the horsepower for this wicked Holden.
Smithy, your first chance to finally defend this number one. How are you feeling coming into the event?
Yeah, starting to get a bit nervous. I guess there's a bit of expectation to perform. Like, we're probably a bit lucky last year to win it, but obviously there's 15 cars that couldn't finish the race. So pretty happy to win, and yeah, looking forward to trying to defend it. I think we've got a good car, and we'll see how we go.
Now, this car was built in a big hurry.
Yeah.
You're a very busy man in your own auto mechanical business back in Mildura, and you really thrashed to get it done just in time.
Yeah, we did. We sort of 16 weeks from start to finish. A lot of people chipped in and helped out. Brian Hayden got the cage done pretty quick. Robbie Foe gave me a hand with the rest of the bar work.
Now, I was going to ask you about Robbie Foe. You've got the Australian Street Stock champion in your corner here as well. So this weekend you've got the Aussie Street Stock champ, the Aussie Modified Sedan champion, and Mildura is an amazing place for motorsport talent. What is it about that place?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty big. Well, there's so many facilities there as well. Like motorbike tracks, speedway tracks, good go-kart facility, motocross facilities there. It's just a big town full of motorsport. Ski
racing, Australian top fuel drag racing, three-time champion. Freco, of course, with safari and rally stuff, plays boats. It's just remarkable.
John Hedrick, he's pro there as well. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just people in Mildura love it.
This is a really good car. We've spoken earlier in the coverage about the expenses of racing this category. Is it manageable?
Oh, it's definitely manageable. But yeah, it is expensive to run any form of motorsport, I think. And you spend what you can afford to do it. And yeah, you just try and get people to help out with sponsorship and do your best.
How different is this track to your home track?
Last night it was really different. Really tight, I guess, in 3 and 4, and really open in 1 and 2, whereas Mildura's just sort of a big flowing track, I guess. I think the track will be really different tonight to what it was last night. So just have to wait and see what it turns out like.
Can you go back to back?
I'd like to think so. It's a long way to come to not be confident that you can give it a decent crack.
A great initiative by the Charlton Raceway team and Speedway Sedans Australia saw a heap of lucky kids get to meet their heroes before the main event, get an autograph and walk out on the arena alongside their driver. The kids love it, as you can clearly see, and judging by the smiles on the drivers' faces too, it's the perfect way to settle those pre-title race nerves. Young Western Australian champion Kai Blight has made the big haul from WA to be here, and he rates himself a good chance. Well, proudly WA champion Kai Blight, you've travelled a long way to get here, mate. How many Ks was it?
Oh, it's 4,200 Ks from home. We had 3 drivers, so the truck was always moving. It took us about 3 days and really enjoyed the trip over.
A big title for you. How do you think you'll go?
We're not counting our chickens before they hatch, Wade. We've come here just to see what it's all about. We've got our Australian title back home next year, so we're just trying to prepare for that mainly.
Yeah, now obviously a proud history that your family has in this sport.
Yeah, without a doubt. My dad raced for 25 years and he was pretty successful in his chosen category in production sedans, and Grandad raced as well. My two other brothers race, so it keeps Mum very stressed.
Yeah, I bet. What's your expectation for the weekend, Kai?
We'd like to make the A. If all goes well, hopefully we can, but tough field of cars, Wade. So.
How different is this track to what you're used to?
Very small and very slick. Back home it's a slick, but it's a different kind of slick that we race on back home, and a bit more wide and have a lot more throttle. But, really love this little joint. If we can get the car hooked up, I think we'll be good.
Well, Pete, this is a fantastic category. There was a lot of cars, 90 plus. Just looking at some highlights of the first night of competition. You are a 3-time Australian champion of this category. It really surprises me just how competitive they are.
Oh, it's a great class, Wade. They spend a lot of money and they spend little money. It's a from Holden Ford Battle and with a throw on Nissans and all sorts of other Mazdas and things in it. And I really enjoyed my time in modified production, and it's been a fabulous support to what our business has gone into.
Now it's got connections very strongly in Queensland, extremely strong in New South Wales, in the regional corners of New South Wales, and Victoria is off the hook as well. Western Australia is very strong. So the category itself, right across the board, is very popular.
Look, you see 91 to nearly 100 cars nominated for the Australian title. It just shows you where the class is at, and it keeps growing. There's more and more cars getting built every day, and it's a very, very popular sport, very family-oriented.
Now you can spend from 15 grand effectively up to around 80,000, can't you?
Oh, definitely. Some of the top running cars there, they spending some big bucks, but that's what it's about, and having a lot of fun with it.
Watching just how competitive this class really is. This is one of the absolute pleasure craft of the field. Todd Doyle, beautifully turned out Nash's Produce entry, really indicative of the high end of the sport, but a lot of guys have a whole lot less invested in their equipment, and it doesn't make them any less competitive. Very, very impressive title. A lot of good cars here from all over Australia. Who do you like for this weekend?
Oh, you got to rate the guys like the Greg Wallings and the Todd Doyles and Mark Carlins and the great, the Aiden Raymonts, etc. There's some tough competition out there, Wade.
Beautifully turned out little speedway, bright green spectator banks here, good crowd, and I do love the Bullymore little Mazda RX-7, the Lightning McQueen car. This kind of racing is what we're going to see throughout the mains, I'm sure.
Most definitely, the wheels, elbows to elbows up, guard to guard, and there'll be a fair bit of panel rubbing through the weekend. So it's a tough class, and these guys put in a really, really good show, and it's a great sport. I love being in it and miss not being there,
So as we just saw then, modified sedan racing is not for the weak at heart. These guys and girls really get after it. Night one was a bruising affair. Today is a brand new day. It's championship day too. And this bloke here right now is looking very, very good indeed. The McDonald brothers join me at the moment. Top point scorer at the moment, Nathan. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good, Wade. Yeah, we had a pretty good car last night. You can always start off with the car you're happy with. You always got a foot ahead of the other. So
looking at the cars at the moment, they look fairly clean for damage. Shane, you're right on the cusp now of making the championship race. You're 21st in points. You've still got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a good car. This is the first race meeting and it's shown some good speed, so hopefully I'll be able to move my way forward in my last heat tonight and make the A.
Little brother's going all right?
Yeah, there's always a bit of brotherly rivalry going on there, but it's good. Yeah, we help each other out. So
very professional team that you guys run here. Obviously you've been doing this a while.
Yeah, for a few seasons. We've both been in modified productions for 4 seasons together now, so it's always good rivalry. We always seem to qualify near each other, so we'll see what happens at the end of tonight.
How are you feeling? Can you win this?
Yeah, we got second in last year's title, so I'd like to think we could go one better, but yeah, we'll just play our cards right and see where we end up.
Coming up after the break, it's the C main. We start to get Deacon and we meet Victorian star Mark Carlin. So here we go, the C main. It's a last chance qualifier. All these cars, and you have to be in the top 2 at the end of the race in order to start down the back of the B main. And someone who knows all about this category, the triple national champion, is Peter Lack, a proud Toowoomban or a Whitcott man. Either way, Lackey, great to have you on the coverage. The boys are going to have to go hard here.
Oh, definitely. Like these guys, last chance to get in, and quite a few guys here sitting back a bit. Probably should have been up a bit further than where they should be. Obviously with stewarding or with mechanical failures or whatever. But couple of guys here, they're going to drive hard and get through.
Quirk pushing very hard as well. There he is in the second position. Such a wide range of cars out there. As we see one of the lady racers in the field, Jess Raymond. Isn't the Raymond family an amazing group for this category?
Oh, these guys do an awesome job, you know, like there's 4 or 5 cars they produce every week, you know, and they put in a monster effort to get these cars here, and they go really well. Jessica's doing a really, really good job, and, you know, she's probably going to be, you know, one of the future people of the sport.
I love the RX-7, the little Lightning McQueen car. How cool is it? There it is, just going through right there. The kids love this thing. I tell you what, he's a pretty brave boy peddling that thing against some of these bigger cars too, Pete.
That car should be really, really good. It's really, really light and get away with a lot softer tyre, and it's got really good horsepower. So look at Millsy going here. He's having a real good crack, and, you know, he's another long-term bloke that should be, you know, again, probably had a bit of bad run in the heats, and, you know, he's really coming through in this final.
Well, Trevor Mills had a power meeting with the concrete wall in turn 3 and 4 the night before last night of the first night of racing, and it really put him back. You couldn't afford to really have a bad heat race. If he had another one, it was diabolical. And let's face it, these boys don't hang around. If there's a position or a pass to be made, they'll go after it. It's really surprised me how aggressive these guys are.
Well, you've got to be aggressive, mate. You know, Australian title, we've got to get through. And look at Peter Gray going here. You know, he's come right from the back, and he's dropped to the bottom, and looks like there's a fast line on the bottom, and he's just knocking them off one by one.
Stephen Quirk running pretty strongly. So is Brett Baxter. We've got trouble here. Cars all over the place, as a matter of fact. The 61 car just spinning to the infield as well. Matt Nelson. And a bit of local support on board for the 88 car. Gotta love that. As we get set to pick them back up at this restart. You're watching the Australian Modified Sedan Championship thanks to GW Racing, Graham and Wendy Racing, and Lucas Oil Products here at Charlton Raceway in Toowoomba. And this is the C-Main. It's a consolation event, but you have to run in the top 2 to get into the next last chance qualifier. This young man out in front, Brett Baxter's very quick. He's been, well, unfortunately running foul of the official last night. That's cost him, but there's no doubt about his speed.
Yeah, no, definitely he's going really, really hard. John O'Collins put the big effort in there as well, and, you know, he again is a top front runner, and, you know, that's a really good car as well, and, you know, he's putting in a good job here. And look at Millsy having a crack on the outside. That corner there can catch you out coming onto the back straight there, and he's if he keeps up the top line, he should be able to get round Jono.
There's that little RX-7 that we spoke about before. It's an absolute weapon little car, and wheeled around to some lethal effect as well. Ross Bullimore, 3 and 4 wide. Look at this.
Look at
fantastic racing. Now, Peter Gray, in a different style car to what he's used to, doesn't normally run Holdens. He's a die-hard Ford man in a Holden. How does he feel about that?
Yeah, that's an ex-Justin Drew car that he's purchased just recently, and finally got to the bottom of a few dramas he's been having, and he's really putting on a good show.
Great racing here. Right now, this is the battlefield. John O'Collins and Trevor Mills. Mills on the outside of the number 10. Collins on the inside of the 21 car. These guys spend a significant amount of money on engines. It really surprised me. Some people in the field spending upwards of $25,000 for their engines.
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot of people spend a lot of money on these cars these days, but you know, there's a lot of budget stuff there as well, and you can produce a really good car on very little money. So you know, it's got both ends of the scale.
And it's some really good prize money across the board, right through Queensland in particular. Very strong in Victoria as well. As we just see the 78 car, good little battle, just going there, coming out of turn number 4. The track is nice and wide, not wide enough here. Quirk. Oh, gets around the 54 car tied up. Jess Raymond just pulls up. Here's the replay here. What do you see here, Pete?
Oh, look, they're trying to fight over the same spot, and yeah, it looks like Quirk's got out on the slippery stuff, and yeah, no, he just turned it around.
Danny Hurt there in the number 54 car, so you could say that, and I have to say that Quirk's in a world of hurt. He's getting ready at the restart. I was always going to say it. There is Baxter in that red number 5. Trevor Mills in there behind him. How do Victorians and Queenslanders compare in their competition?
Oh, Queensland's definitely been, you know, the arms up racing up here for sure. And
oh no! That was Collins. He hooked a rut and the car spun around very hard. Oh man, he got some air there.
Yeah. Woo. Lucky that didn't go in a lot harder.
Yeah, lucky.
Done a great job.
I was going to say, pretty handy piece of driving there. Speedway Sedans Australia, of course, administrating the national body for this category, along with street stocks and sib sedans and junior sedans as well. So we see Jono just grazing the wall, but what's the worst part? He's now going to have to go to the back. There goes his chance of qualifying through to the B main. So Peter Lack, it's a tough old weekend here in Toowoomba.
Yeah, it definitely is. Look at these guys there. Peter Gray's going to the bottom again, and he's found something on the bottom, and you know, Millsy's trying hard on the top and just gets out there a bit high in turn 2 and is struggling to keep the pace up.
Kane Heidke and the Big Falcon there, having a crack as well. The 17-car Hawks entry has gone around, so another restart coming up here. Unfortunately, doesn't take much to turn with these cars around. It's a real little bull ring, Charlton Raceway, Toowoomba, and very well supported. Great crowd here this weekend on a tough weekend. Termater is here, like the Termater without the turf. Unfortunately, Raymond's car up on the hook. So we've got Lightning McQueen on the racetrack and we've got Mater on the infield. You guys have got an episode of Cars here.
Oh, we've got everything.
Way to go is Baxter. Young man leading away, as you've been saying, Gray in that second spot, trying to get through to qualify to tonight's B main for the Australian Modified Sedan Championship, brought to us by GW Racing and Lucas Oil Products. Everybody down the bottom of the racetrack. Mills is gone. He's cut a tyre. No, gee, I tell you what, that tyre looked awfully flat in the right rear. Just low pressure?
Just low pressure, I'd say. He's trying to get the slick stuff, and here we go.
There's a flat left front on Bullymoore's car, so unfortunately no ka-chow for the Lightning McQueen car. He's got a flat left front. Baxter away. Track is fairly wide, Peter.
Yeah, turn 1 and 2 is a lot wider than turn 3 and 4. The track's a bit egg-shaped, and 3 and 4 is a lot tighter. But as you can see, there's a low line developing, and the high line's starting to slick off, and there's going to be more passing on the bottom than the top by the looks of it. But, you know, someone can make it stick up there. They'll get round.
1 lap to go, and Brett Baxter looking to do the job here. Peter Gray running very, very strongly. He'll hold on to second spot and should get the final transfer position. Adam Jorgensen, well done to him in, 4th position. Bullymore will actually hold on. Matt Nelson back there as well with Stephen Downs. John O'Collins unlucky. Craig Franz. Millsy was busy, that's for sure. There's your transfers. Brett Baxter and Peter Gray. So what do sprint cars and modified sedans have in common? Well, ordinarily, not a great deal. But when you're in the GW Racing shop right here in Withcott in Queensland, there's a really strong connection. From 2002 to 2005, some bloke named Peter Lack was a triple Australian modified sedan champion. That effort has never been repeated. However, over my shoulder there, Todd Dorr from Gympie in Queensland seeks to try and win 3 himself. Can't do that in a row, but 3 would still be impressive. Right here, Mark Cullen out of Geelong in Victoria seeks to win his 2nd. There's a lot of guys like this in the field and with a big chance to win here this weekend. Mark, you come from a very strong state. Victorian modified sedan racing is huge down there. Why is that?
Oh, the class has sort of been up and down over the last few years, and we're starting to get some good numbers back this year, so hopefully it keeps building up bigger and better. We've got a lot of good cars down there. The competition's pretty good, so we put on some good racing, I reckon.
There's a huge amount of racing for this class right across the eastern seaboard, isn't there? It's just so much racing.
We sort of travel right up to Queensland a fair bit each year. You know, there's a lot of big shows on up here, so it's good to sort of race in different states and race with different guys, and yeah, it really keeps you on your game.
With any class of motor racing, there's the haves and have-nots. There's people that spend an enormous amount of money, and there's guys that somehow get by. Where do you fit in that?
Look, we spend a little bit of money, but we don't spend a great deal of money. We do what we can. We're not a massive budget like the other guys. There's a lot more people spending bigger money than we do, but with the Ford that we've got, we don't need to spend a whole heap of money on the engine to get it going. So, yeah, we're pretty lucky in that respect.
What would your setup owe you?
It's still probably cost 50 grand to get to what we've got with all our spares and everything, but you know, we've got a pretty reliable package at the moment, and you know, pretty quick car.
So running costs wise, what's your biggest expense?
Probably tyres. We like keeping good tyres on the car, you know, that's what sort of wins races.
What are your options with rubber?
You can run American races or Hoosiers. We tend to go towards the American races more than the Hoosiers.
Is there a dominant state?
Not really. Queensland's been really strong for the last few years, and no one had really won a feature up here in 20 years, and we came up last year and won the Queensland title, so we were the first one to win a show up here, the non-Queenslander for 20 years, which was pretty good. That. Yeah, they didn't like it too much, I don't think, but yeah, it's good.
Now, you won your Australian title in the furthest point you could possibly imagine from where we are right now, in Albany in Western Australia.
It was a great weekend, and yeah, remember it for a long time.
Peter Lack is one of the most probably celebrated graduates of modified sedan racing, going on to a pretty high-profile sprint car career, and this whole GW Racing outfit have put so much into the sport. There's a lot of options for any race car driver in Australian Speedway. Do you see yourself doing anything other than modified sedans in the future?
Yeah, I'd like to give super sedans or late models a go one day maybe, and just see how we go.
You've sport in Victoria. There's a lot of racetracks and a lot of different places that you can race. How many events would you run a year?
Oh, we do anywhere from 20 to 25 shows a year.
If you were to complete this sentence in as few words as you can, I race modified sedans because...
They're the most competitive class there is, I believe.
What is modified sedan racing to a newcomer?
Well, it's just you've got so many different cars, old, new, and you know everyone's sort of around the same sort of speed, and whoever gets their things right for the night, you know, can still win. There's Cortinas getting around that are still competitive, and XF Falcons, and yeah, so it's really competitive in that way.
Can you win?
Oh, we're not going to go away wondering.
Coming up after the break, it's the last chance qualifier B main, and we meet one of the stars who's hoping to get 3 Australian titles. So now we're into the last chance qualifier, your B main here at Charlton Raceway Toowoomba for the GW Racing Lucas Oil Products Australian Modified Sedan Championship. And down to turn 1 and 2 we go. The boys hanging it out, 3 wide. This is going to be a bruising affair to get the last couple of transfer positions. To see Peter McCarthy in there out of Mildura in Victoria, one of, I think, 3 Mildurans running here this weekend, if that's even a word. Have a look how competitive this field is back here in the middle, Peter.
Oh, they're definitely going hard back here.
Oh, 4 wide!
Panels everywhere.
Wow. And there is Kai Blight. Oh, you're right, it is 2. So Greg Walling into the wall, and cars shall cross around. McCarthy involved as well. This is at the other end of that battle that happened in turn 2. So here's a replay, your GW Racing Lucas Oil Products replay right now. 4 wide here. There is Walling together with the orange car of Blight. Bits and pieces coming off everyone's race cars. Just a typical corner for modified sedans?
Oh, I wouldn't say typical, but just four cars wide in there, not going to work, you know. So, yeah, look at the results we got. And what's happening up the other end?
This is Shallcross. And the car boneyard entry, there's the Cortina going around. Just slipping around the outside is the Nissan, the 200ZX, which is a smart-looking bit of race car. And the Easy Mix 1467 entry. Here's a look at the onboard camera angle now for Kai Blight. You'd have to see just how busy it gets here. He gets crunched on both sides. Oh, what chance did he have there?
Oh, I just hope it hadn't done any damage to the car, you know. Like, it'd be a shame, you know, guys come from Western Australia and you know, current Western Australian champion. It'd be good to see him go on.
So damage, that might be the 81 panel just off the side, perhaps of Dennis Shallcross, the Cortina. So we're right on board with Kai Blight, just checking the steering there by the looks of things, Pete.
Yeah, it looks like you're just shaking it back and forth to make sure there's nothing about to fall off.
Very talented young man, this young guy, very savvy when it comes to the media stuff as well. Great crowd here at Charlton Raceway Toowoomba. Resumption of hostilities right now. We are back underway. There's a guy in the field here called Max Clark. He's a bit of a legend when it comes to these cars. He did the Alphabet race a couple of years ago at Lismore, Pete. He won the Australian title out of the C main.
He did. He come right through. He really goes well on the slicker tracks, and it's showing again here tonight that he's capable of doing that.
Ty Galley out there having a hard charge. Here he is, the man we're talking about.
Here he goes. He's going to go underneath Stephen Zahl. He's pulled another one off and he's taken the lead.
So Clark hoping to go through from the B main into the A main in the championship field. Now we're looking at such a wide diversity of cars in this B main in particular. You've even got a Nissan 200ZX out there.
Yeah, no, that's a local guy, Brendan Kennedy. He's built up Len's long-term racer over the years, and yeah, built up another lightweight race car to try and do the job. Watching the 81 car, the Cortina of Shallcross, together with the Holden of Zahl. Commodores are a very competitive package across the board in this class, aren't they? Oh, definitely. You know, the Commodores are like a reputable car there, and you know, probably most developed, and everyone can get bits for them a lot easily. Watching on the inside, Charlie, just about got up into the side of Zahl. That was good driving from both those guys to give each other a bit of room and still race hard. The intensity of the competition has really impressed me this weekend, Pete. The Buccaneers car nearly lost it. A lot of pressure here. Rodney Pimenta as well. Not had a great weekend, Rodney. He's been a bit unlucky. And just watching that 49 car coming through, I believe that car, that Falcon, has an engine around the $25,000 mark. So these guys spend the coin. There goes Shallcross. Oh, double 360, was it? It looked like he went around that quickly. We're going to go caution. And there is Pimenta, the Rocket. Now here's a look at it again. Hard to tell who was really to blame there, but Shallcross is gone. Galley trying to get out of the way. Oh, it's getting tight. There is Pimenta just squeezing through. He's had
disappointing weekend. Rodney would be one of the favourites coming into this event, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a local guy again, and he was probably a favourite to do good, and just got to get his way through, and probably had a bad run in the heats and hadn't quite got there either. So
everybody managing to come out of that relatively unscathed. Restart right now here at Charlton Raceway, Toowoomba. It's the B Main. It's the last chance qualifier really for the Australian Championship. Once again, Shawcross, he got his position back. Works his way through. Oh no, McCarthy in a bit of pain again. Gee, the boy from Mildura getting a bit of a pinball effect at the moment. Just watching Shane McDonald trying to come through.
Yeah, Shane, that's a brand new car too, and he's doing a pretty good job in it. And again, he'd like to be up a bit further, and he's trying hard, but it's a tough field out there, Wade. It's really, really tough. Everyone's so close, and there's Fletch in there having a crack as well, and he's having a good go at it as well. So
there is McDonald through. Fletcher's gone.
Oh, and that's not good. She's broken.
Oh man, you can see, yes, definitely left front damage there for the Gabs Engines Fusion, number 49. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, look how busy it is now. McDonald coming through. His brother Nathan looking to be pretty well around the front of the field in the main event. He's already qualified himself through. So trying to get both McDonald brothers through at the moment. So Maxi Clark looking strong. Pimenta really starting to come through. Shawcross, he's been busy. Brett Barron, Shane McDonald, Jason Beer. Beer won the best presented car at the start of the weekend. I can't say it's the same way at the end of it. But hey, we're not dealing with show cars, we're dealing with race cars, Pete.
That's exactly right. They're here to race, not put on show.
There is Maxi Clark doing a nice job. Some beautifully turned out cars right out through the course of the weekend. Brett Barron turns out a beautiful car too.
Yeah, it's only a new car to him, and it's a really good car for him, and he's gone really well. And that was the Logan car that they brought from up north, and yeah, he's doing a really good job in it, and it shows he's got a bit of pace in that, and he's gone really well since he's got it.
Here is Pimenta to the right-hand side, up high. Beautiful job. Kathy Pimenta, his lovely wife, a big, big supporter of his racing. As we go to the outside now, trying to put the number on Shawcross. Last lap. Clark is your leader at the moment. Pimenta, good run. Finally gets around, cuts a bit of a break, moves himself up into second. Shawcross trying to come back at him. Checkered flag is out. Max Clark locks himself in. So does Pimenta. Well done, Shawcross and Brett Barron. One guy that's going to be very tough here this weekend is Todd Doyle, who seeks to win 3 Australian Championships.
Well, Doyle, without running down super sedans, because that's not what I'm here for, the super sedans have a much higher profile to the greater majority of Speedway fans in Australia, but this is probably one of the best kept secrets in racing.
Yeah, that's right. We just the racing's full on with this class, like door-to-door handle, and everyone has a crack. Like supers, a lot of it's follow the leader. A lot of the times, I think the tracks are probably outgrowing the cars. The cars are outgrowing the track, sorry. And our cars are just more suited to it. There's a lot of outside stuff, and yeah, it's just a good class.
It's a very competitive class, particularly up and down the East Coast, and Western Australia's on song as well with that. How many cars would there be across Australia, do you think?
Oh, it'd have to be 150 because there's 100 here this weekend. So yeah, it's getting up there.
It's predominantly Ford versus Holden?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you go with the car that you go with? Have you always been a Holden?
Just a Holden freak, yeah, more or less.
You can't get a needle for that?
No, I have to have. Not driving a Ford.
You spend a lot of money on this race car. In fact, there'd be guys that wouldn't be spending this kind of money on a sprint car or a super sedan in some cases that you spend on yours. Why is that?
I don't know. It's just probably what you have to spend to be up the front, I think. Like the engines are dear. If you have a V6 Holden engine, they're really dear. So I'll pay about 25 for an engine. So it's getting up there, I know.
You get reliability for that?
Yeah, no, they're pretty good.
Okay. So wheel-to-wheel combat, it's not overly cost-effective from what you're doing. Why do you do it?
I was driven a super sedan. I just didn't like it. I just thought this was like if you got up close to someone, you'd rub a wheel and lock together and spin out. It's just not like this racing. Like this is just good racing.
Who do you expect to be main rivals here this weekend?
Probably Aidan Raymont, Mark Carlin. There's a fair few. Greg Walling, Ash Parkinson. You wouldn't know who's going to win.
What about the defending champ?
Yeah, good luck to him, I think. He's from Mildura, isn't he?
Yeah, you asked for that indeliberately. Is it this track's very different to Timmis? How many other places outside of Queensland do you race at?
I've been WA twice and all over the country, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to an outsider, explain what a modified sedan is. What are the restrictions that you have, and what is that car in the background? How does it work?
It's just the chassis is dead standard, and you're going to have all standard mounting points, and you can fabricate everything off that mounting point. You've got to have standard spindles or standard mounting points there, but otherwise you can do what you want. Engines, standard stroke, V6s, or 6 cylinders without being over 260 cube or something, I think it is. The best thing is that you've got to make what you've got work. Like there might be an XF Falcon that's got a live axle that'll be just as fast as this car, or everything seems to be close, even though they're all different makes and models and suspension types.
Gearbox.
Gearboxes, just got to be an OEM gearbox out of any car. So yeah, gearboxes, diffs, you're allowed to put 9-inch diffs in them, but not quick changes. That's about it, really.
So what speed gearbox and what gear are you racing in?
Well, I just run a standard diff, but a lot of people, and I run second gear, but we change diffs for all the different tracks we go to get our final drive right. But a lot of people run 9-inch diffs, and they just change the diffs, like they'll have a 6-9 diff ratio or 7-1 or whatever. So it just works that way.
You going to win?
I'm not coming to come second.
Well, can he win 3 Australian Championships? Todd Doyle in with a firing chance, that's for sure. We'll find out how he fares along with the rest of the field when we come back to Charlton Raceway Toowoomba after this. So out they roll for the championship finale right now. The crew chiefs or car owners bringing the cars out, and there is the car owner for Todd Doyle, Peter.
That's him, and Mr. Nash. He's driving the car out there, and he puts in a big effort with all these guys, and there's our lineup. Yeah, Gavin Lawrenson, great job to qualify and pole alongside Todd Doyle. Look down the left-hand side. Nathan McDonald, David Smith, the defending champ, Glenn Pagel, Mark Raymond, Ashley Barron, Johnny Benson, Aidan Raymond, Andrew Harper, Steve Jordan, the Super Sedan hard charger, Darryl Logue as well, as Todd gets set to belt in. He does a fair bit of fabrication and race car building. He does. He builds a lot of cars and lots of bits and pieces. He's actually built the car, both the cars on the front row, so both chassis are his, and also I believe he built Aidan Raymond's car as well, the chassis on it. There was the Steve Jordan car, the car he affectionately calls the fire truck, the big red Falcon. It's a beautifully turned out car, Doyle's. We just saw it, of course, in that profile a little bit earlier on. Lawrenson's done a good job. Both those guys from Gympie in Queensland, Peter. Anyone who comes out of Gympie, they really drive hard there. It's a track that you've got to be driving 10/10 all the time, and it really shows that the muscle up driving that modified production is, and it really shows where it's at. Here we go, Peter Lack. He's a triple national title holder. He knows what he's talking about. Great to have him on our coverage as we go racing. The defending champ, Dave Smith from Mildura, in the 3rd position. Wow, Doyle held up high. We go on board with David Smith. Great pictures here, Lackey. Oh, this is unreal. This is it. You're nearly in the seat yourself. It's just really good to see that. Wow, Raymond coming through. Very good run from him. Pagel, he'll be solid here in this championship race as well. Very long distance ahead of us. Your leader is Lawrenson. Doyle back to 3rd. McDonald gets himself up into 2nd. Wow, frantic back here. Smith is going back a bit, the defending champ. Yeah, he just hadn't quite grabbed it. You know, the track's probably not up the top at the moment. Everyone's sort of on the bottom, and he's just getting muscled out. But it'll settle in a second, and they just need to survive the first few laps. And you know, it's all about finishing these races, and you've got to be there at the pointy end to finish, obviously, to get there. And yeah, Doyley's having a crack around the outside, and Aidan Raymond's come from way back, you know, and he's got right up there. So 2 Raymonds out there, of course, and Jess, who raced earlier in the night. The Raymond family immersed in their modified sedan racing. McDonald is in the red car, going to the outside. He's been runner-up before, Peter. He'd love to win this weekend. Oh, he puts in a big effort, and he does. He ran up 2nd last year, and he'd like to do it 1 better this year. On board again with David Smith in the Repco entry. The Phil Smith Automotive Repco entry from Mildura. Riding behind him is Barron, one of the Kingaroy boys. They love their racing in Kingaroy as well, Lackey. Oh, they do. There's a great bunch of guys that get together, and they really have a good time with this. And, you know, they always support the modified production and really support it up there as well. There is Lawrenson, your leader. We go on board with Mark Carlin. Lives near Geelong in Victoria. He's a former national champion. He's also the current Queensland champion, Peter. That must have been a bit of an upset. Yeah, no, he came up last year and showed them all up. It was, he does. He really supports the class, and he travels around, and he likes to race where the fast cars are. And not saying the Victorians aren't quick, but he lifts his ego when he comes up here, that's for sure. New leader, Nathan McDonald.
whose wife is heavily pregnant. They're expecting the birth of their child any day. And I mean, like, could be tonight, could be tomorrow. Max Clark starting to come on. There he is, the car boneyard entry.
Look out, David Smith's pulling in.
Yes, you're right. Oh, that's gutting for the defending champ. He pulls in. Oh, what a shame. This quietly spoken racer out of the Sunraysia.
Mark Carlin's having a good run around the outside here. He's probably getting a little bit too high, but he's trying to find some momentum to get these guys around the outside. But Max Clark's come through and just nicked up the inside of him. Here comes Carlo on the top side, as you said. Barron in the 44 car. Steve Jordan in that big red Falcon in that battle as well. Right up against the safety fence on the main straight, that camera position as we ride on board with a two-time national champion, Todd Doyle. And I've got to say, this car is immaculate, Peter. Oh, Todd's done it. It's a really, really good looking car, and Todd and Nash, you'd be really, really happy with what performance and that they're getting out of this car. He's probably hadn't quite got the setup there. He's struggling a bit on the slicker stuff, but we'll see how the race progresses, and hopefully he can get it on the bottom there and poke along. There's the Backpage Sports Bar Falcon of Jordan on the bottom, along with Barron on the outside from Kingaroy. Clark weighing in on that battle as well. Then you go back to Shawcross. There he is. And Mark Carlin. They're very passionate. Anyone that runs this class, they're very passionate about their category. I mean, most people are, Peter, but these guys, they really do wear their modified sedan status with a badge of honour. Oh, it's a great class. You know, it's a close mob of people, and, you know, really good friendships come out of it. And I've seen you pull that helmet on, they're a bit aggressive, but, you know, it's a great class, and they do a really good job at it. Now, what is on the dash there, the blue speedo or gauges he's got there? What would he be reading off that? Oh, it's just all these, you don't have conventional gauges, it's all digital on his car. It's, you know, it shows his temperature, oil pressure and RPM, etc. on that. Wouldn't that be a little bit, well, hard to concentrate looking over the top? That's pretty bright in there. Yeah, he must be immune to it, and yeah, he gets on with the job with it. But you can't get by Lawrenson at the moment. Gav's doing a great job. Turn 3 and 4 right here has rutted up pretty badly throughout the course of the weekend. It's really made the guys, well, check up. There's been a couple of guys get upside down and really whack that wall pretty hard. The cars are fundamentally very quick off the corners, but as we saw earlier, you can hook a rut and go straight in. Yeah, track's got some trickiness about it. You know, you got to try and set it up for the slick, but you also got to get through the holes. So you got to have the car free enough to get through the holes. And like you said, it has caught a few guys out over the weekend. Look at the Raymond, he's catching up to Mr. McDonald now. Wouldn't Aiden love to win this race? You know, his father's been trying to chase this race down for a long, long time, 30-odd years, I believe. So it'd be great. Oh, jeez! That's exactly what we're talking about. You know. Wow, that was a very big moment just then for Raymond. That's the second of the Raymond boys. That's Mark. As we see Barron riding alongside him. And now closing in as well is Jordan. Oh, my goodness. Barron gets into the side of Raymond there in the Cooroy Auto Wreckers Ford. And he pulls up. And officials have been brutal this weekend, Peter. If anybody makes contact, they basically get not put out and not put to the rear. They get disqualified. Yeah, no, they've been pretty tough this weekend, that's for sure. I agree with that. And, yeah, here we go again. See what happens here. He's just lost it. And did he get help? Oh, well, he's jumped off the moisture and straight into the slick stuff, and around it's gone on him, and then just got tagged as well. So, yeah, it's one of those deals. Yellow light flashing here in turn 3 and 4. Crowd really enjoying this. Wonderful support for this category. It's a big deal in Queensland and in Victoria in particular. Around the Lismore area, the cars are very strong there as well. Picking him up at the restart, Nathan McDonald. Not to be confused with the former Queensland sprint car driver, Nathan McDonald, as well. There's two very accomplished Nathan McDonalds in Queensland racing. Carlin's real high. Pimenta trying to get him through there as well. And there is Barron. So the Barron family, oh, look at Raymond coming right back on the outside. Got his position back, tags the wall, sparks everywhere. Back on board with Carlin, looking back at Barron. You're watching the Lucas Oil Products, GW Racing, Australian Modified Sedan Championship. Pimenta on the outside, trying to make something work there. Track is slick in the middle, Peter, so you've got to be a bit careful to keep your speed up. Yeah, these cars, you know, you've got to keep the momentum going, you've got to keep them free enough. And, you know, once you drop the wheel onto that slick stuff and you lose the speed, well, you know, all the guys are going to sneak up the inside. So it's about getting track position and holding it. Steve Jordan, Super Sedan hard charger, running through the middle of the screen right there in that big red Falcon.
In behind him is Shawcross, and Lawrenson still doing a good job to hold out Todd Doyle. I've got to be honest, I'm surprised that Doyle didn't fire off in the distance at the start, but he's been pinned back there in third.
Yeah, just stuck on the bottom, and obviously the car works on the bottom, and he can't get up the top there and get it to work and keep the momentum happening, so he's just got to run around on the bottom and wait for the mistake.
Oh, look at the pressure getting into turn number 3. Back on board with Doyle. Glenn Pagel. What a gritty veteran Glenn Pagel is, Peter.
Oh, yeah, the Pagel boys have been around for a long time, and, they're really good at their sport up at Gympie. That's where their hometown. And, yeah, Glenn's doing a really good job as well. He's there or thereabouts.
Max Clark charging hard. Tony Coomber as well doing a nice job. You got Andrew Harper out there. I like Harper's car. It's very NASCAR style. Got the big number 20, the big Tony Stewart look down the side of it. Back on board with Carlin here. Track is dusting up just a little bit. We've had a lot of racing, and I mean a lot of racing. Track has stood up remarkably well. Well done to the track staff here. We now see the Glen Warren Charolais entry of Barron. You've got Kingaroy battles, you've got Gympie battles, you've got guys from Victoria. It's very territorial, this class, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's about the one territory against another, and Kingaroy boys. Look out, we've got Mark's having a bit of trouble. He looks like he's got a flat right rear.
Yeah, I think you're right. Didn't Barron do a good job to get in there and not force the issue, but make the spot and force, unfortunately, Carlin to have to reassess. There in the middle, the car boneyard entry, former Aussie champ Max Clark. Pagel on the outside, on the inside of that number 4 car. On the outside is Raymond. He's starting to come on as well. You've got Clark in there, you've got Shawcross in there. Jordan is in there as well. So is Barron. Top 12 guys are locked together, Peter Lack.
Yeah, they really are. The 2 front runners have sort of pulled a bit of a gap here now. So, this is a really tight battle here. Who's going to come out on this one?
Now, this is the battle for second, because protest flag just coming out. A lot of smoke and a fire. The 44 car, the Artec Engineering entry out of Kingaroy. Barron, he's heading to the infield looking for the fire crew.
Yeah, I'd say he's lost a motor there, or no, it must be a motor, must be a fuel line or something. I've been in that situation. Fire's aren't real good.
No, and it's starting to catch hold here. Starting to catch hold big time. Wow, this thing is erupting.
That's nasty.
Crash crew over there quickly to try and snuff the flames out. Man, that thing just erupted. Well, it's starting to heat up here at Charlton Raceway, a fiery Australian title, and there's more coming up after this. Welcome back to Charlton Raceway in Toowoomba for the GW Racing Lucas Oil Products Australian Modified Sedan Championship, brought to you by Speedway Sedans Australia. There is Gavin Lawrenson and the T-Mac entry from Gympie, and likewise Todd Doyle and the Nashie's Produce entry. You got Glenn Pagel there as well. You've got Aidan Raymond, Mark Raymond, the Raymond brothers out there doing a nice job. You've got Jordan, you've got Shawcross. A lot of very fast cars. Nathan McDonald in the front position right now, leading from Aidan Raymond. Down into turn 1, everybody goes to the bottom, except Mark Raymond. You might as well have a go, Peter. Everyone else is down the bottom.
Well, you get into that situation. If they're all down the bottom, how are you going to pass one another? So you've got to have a crack, and he's definitely having a go at it. And this is anyone's race from here, Wade. It's, everyone's on top of one another, and they're hugging down the bottom, and it's one mistake, and you're in the next position. So, Doyley's having a go there. And
look at Glenn Pagel too. Pagel really got caught out a bit, then he got moved off the good line. And now, look at him, he's on the outside. You've got to be careful, he's going to lose ground. Pimenta battling there with the Glen Warren Charolais entry of Barron. Rest of the field working their way through. At the tail is Harper in that number 20 car. 3 wide. 3 wide out of turn number 2. Good stuff from Pagel. On the bottom is Clark, who bounces up. Oh, now Raymond gets in there. This is what it's been like all weekend, Lackey.
Yeah, it's close racing, It's definitely elbows up stuff and, having a go with everyone. So, here we go. Raymond's going to have another go down the inside here on Pagel. So.
And Jordan is working his way through. Oh, Raymond! He gets into the side of Pagel. Ooh. Difficult to say that Mark might not be in a bit of trouble here.
I'd say so. He's coming straight into the top of him and rode a wheel, and then look out. Here we go.
Shawcross did a good job to try and stay out of all that. He turned the car, just missed all of that, but the Garrett's earth-moving entry of Glenn Pagel, he'll get his spot back if the officials are consistent like they have been all weekend. They've just made the call, and bang, don't argue. So crash crew here with Jordan. Seems to be some concern over Steve Jordan here. There, black flag.
Black flag.
They don't mess around. They don't mess around. Here is your leader. Meanwhile, Steve Jordan has been treated, had a bit of a sore arm from some impact involved in that incident. So unfortunately for Steve, he's out. Doyle, roll around with the helmet up. Get a bit of cool air in there, Pete.
Yeah, he's probably just breathing in and, just cooling off a bit before we restart again.
He's back in fourth. I got to be honest, that surprises me a bit. McDonald is your leader. Look at the outside. Is that Clark having a crack? It is. Maxie's coming back. He started in the B main. He did this in Lismore a couple of years ago. Doyle says, not just yet, Max. Look at this. I love this category. They go off, Pete.
Oh, you got to fight for every position, and knowing Doyle, he will not give up. He just goes and goes and goes. He just won't stop at it.
There's a lot of turns lock to lock in these cars compared to your sprint car.
Oh, definitely. The track's a bit slick, so they're getting holes and jumping into slick stuff, and it's moving around. Here he is. He's going to have a go on the outside.
Raymond is your leader. He goes through on McDonald. A critical move. Nathan goes back. Now Doyle under pressure. He goes for the move on Lawrenson. Oh, McDonald. Well done. That was gutsy. Well, that's what you got to do to win an Australian title, don't you? But look at Raymond. He's coming back. They bang just a little bit their quarter panels. McDonald fighting to stay alive. Raymond all over him. What a battle for the lead. Raymond is through. McDonald back to second in the Lindmack car. Can he come back again, Pete?
I'm sure he won't give up. He'll have another go.
Back in that third spot, Lawrenson has held on to that third position. Now Clark has gotten by Doyle. He's trying to come back. Shawcross on the outside with Pagel. What a race. We've only got about 5 or 6 laps to go here. And it's on. On for young and old. On the outside, the 81 Cortina of Shawcross. Raymond in the green Falcon. McDonald in the red, white and blue Holden. On board with Todd Doyle. It's getting down to the business end now. Oh, Doyle's he got problems.
It's cut out.
What has happened there? Is that light that's come on that gave you the idea there?
Definitely an oil light come on, so it's got some engine issues there.
Oh, it pulls the car off the racetrack. Well done from Doyle to keep it running in terms of letting this race continue without him. Raymond is your leader. He's got out to a bit of a lead now. And now Lawrenson coming at McDonald to Nate. He's got to hold on here. He's going to be outside the podium if he's not careful.
Oh, you made a mistake there too, and Lawrence is going to have a look up the inside.
She lost a lot of ground. I wonder if there's a problem with that car. Certainly the speed has gone out of it. It's just maybe the setup late in the race isn't as strong.
It's just track position, like the track's probably gone away at the top there and you just can't grab it. So, Lawrence has got up the inside of him here and he's probably going to go down another position.
Door to door here, Gavin Lawrenson. Oh my goodness, they hit the rut. Well, let's have a look at that again in replay situation. This is a heavy impact, Peter.
Yeah, it's quite hard, actually, so it's lucky the guys get away with that, and just goes to show you how strong these cars are and what you can get away with.
Here we go, back in it now. McDonald trying to claw his way back. Lawrenson on the bottom, as he has been the whole race. 1 lap to go. Raymond is clearing out. What a moment this will be for Aiden Raymond. Look at McDonald fighting for survival. Pagel gets in alongside Lawrenson. They're going to battle the whole way down, but they're not going to catch Aiden Raymond. What a job. Well done. Checkered flag is out. Raymond, your winner from McDonald. From Lawrenson. Oh, Pagel just over Shawcross.
Oh, it's a great job, Wade. These guys have been working at this for a long time. So, great effort to those guys and the other guys at second and third. It's a tough deal today.
Coolroy Auto Wreckers entry of Aiden Raymond wins. An Avengers dad. Nathan McDonald second. Lawrenson, Pagel, Shawcross. Clark got up to 6th after coming from the B main. Kuma, Pimenta, he came from the B2. Steen was 9th. Then the Tale of Woe of DNFs. Let's go down trackside with our new Australian champion. Aiden Raymond, that's got to feel great, mate. What a drive.
I've been trying to win this race for a long time and I can't believe it, mate. It just hasn't sunk in yet.
Mate, Nathan did such a great job. You must have thought you were never going to get a chance.
To be honest with you, I thought I had nothing for him, but I found a few good grooves there and I managed to get underneath and we had a good scrap there for a while, so it's great to race with professional other drivers too.
Well, Nathan McDonald came so very close to winning his first Australian title. He'd have to be the bridesmaid again, but what a solid drive for the young guy. So close.
Yeah, so close again, but yeah, well done to Aiden. He drove well. Had set the car up for the top and the bottom, and it was a brilliant car, but just missed it on the last few laps. And yeah,
you had a good crack back at him on the inside.
Yeah, I did get back past him, and then Lawrenson got up the inside of me, so I had to battle for the second then, so glad we could hold on to that.
Gympie's Gavin Lawrenson was solid throughout the race and entirely deserves his podium finish with third. Well, Gavin, congratulations on a podium finish. You started on the front row, drifted back, and really had to defend most of that race.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit tight for the first 3/4 of the race. It only started to come good in the last probably 10 laps. So we just missed the setup a little bit, but anyway, it's all good and not too much damage, and we'll go again next weekend.
Gee, Queenslanders were pretty dominant.
Yeah, well, probably home track advantage a little bit for us up here, but the Queensland boys always go well wherever we go. So, no, full credit to the Toowoomba club and everyone sponsors and who put the event on. So it's all good.
One of the quiet achievers for the weekend was undoubtedly Glenn Pagel, who really came good at race's end. A fourth place for him, a great result. Well, fourth place, Glenny Pagel, man, you had to pedal.
Yeah, it was a very trying race with the conditions of the track, I suppose you call it. But I suppose when you got 98 cars nominated for event, you end up fourth overall. I guess it's a good result, but as you know, none of us here to come second, I suppose. So, but congratulations to Hayden, he deserved it. I think he would have been favourite going into the event, and thoroughly deserved win.